Hello, welcome to this episode of Demystified as we explore home cooking in a modern world. I'm Linda and I'm here with my good friend, Paul.
Oh, I'm a good friend now.
According to our AI, you are.
Yes.
How are you, Paul?
I'm all right. Long time.
It feels a bit strange sitting here, I must say, because it's been such a long time. I've worked out it is 4 days short of a year.
Yes.
I can't believe it.
Circumstance,
I know, but
you know,
no one knows what's been going on.
no,
And-
we don't actually know what's going on.
Well, that's a situation most days. So no difference there. But
We're back.
we're back. We've
Sort of. Almost.
well, we're ready to relaunch.
Yeah.
We've got some exciting news for us anyway. While we haven't been vocally visible, we have been.
right?
I don't know. Sure, I just made that up. But while we haven't been posting any content, we've been busy behind the scenes working on a complete rebuild of our website, our podcast, our channel, looking at where we're going, how to best help home cooks and the
Brand new.
journey.
New-
Yeah, the whole journey of
rebranding
cooking.
everything. Yeah.
We've been thinking hard, looking and reinvesting in the technology. We've discovered AI.
Yeah. Well, you discovered AI. You discovered a weird, I don't know, AI generated me, which freaked me out.
Oh, I know. I was so excited. I thought, I can replace Paul.
Yeah.
Just make a 2-minute video and then it's okay. But we haven't worked out how that's even relevant yet because
No.
that's a bit freaky.
But no, for those people that know us or know what we've done before. So obviously we started with Cooking with Steam, and there was the three of us, and then there was the two of us, and
Soon there'll be one. I'm just waiting for the knife to fall, listeners.
so what we've done since is kind of look at what our business is, I suppose, to a degree, and how we can make life easier, not only for ourselves, but so we can potentially reach more people. And also, given the topics that we've discussed here in our however many podcasts we're up to now, like it's 100 and something.
140.
Yeah.
This is our 141st.
We were
Yeah.
always focused on, Combi Steam, and that's still a significant part of what we are and what we're going to do. But our topics and a lot of the feedback we've had from not everyone, but some listeners has always been about, just the other stuff as well. Whether
Well, a lot of the questions you get.
it's
Yeah.
just cooking related stuff or not so much Steam specific. There's still a lot of questions around Steam. So given that, what we're doing is sort of rebranding ourselves as Demystified Cooking rather than Cooking with Steam, just to potentially reach a broader audience. We'll have a platform change and update, so you'll be able to access our stuff via another platform. I'll let you know when that happens, but you'll see it. We'll have merch.
Yes.
Which
And on the one website rather than having to go to
Yes.
steamahead.com.au, which has always been a bit of a mystery to me.
Yeah, so we'll have some merchandise that is relevant to cooking. We're not just going to print a t-shirt. We've got new branding, new logos. I've got the 4-inch thick paper copy of the book, which I'm going to edit.
Yes.
Finally edit over Easter. So we'll have Demystified, the new book.
Oh,
yeah,
you've just told the name.
I think you've told it.
I have. Okay.
So yeah, over probably sometime in the middle of the year, we'll have some new content, certainly refresh content. So all of our cooking videos, as you know them, will change. They'll be on a different platform. We'll have new recipes. We'll have a new video editing style, a little bit hopefully more user-friendly, and one platform kind of for everything. So we're not having to try and figure out, because as nice as it is to have someone who's got expertise in, accounting and, money and numbers, and someone that has maybe a little bit of expertise in cooking, we are not marketers and we don't know how to market ourselves or our brand. So we're just kind of trying to, it's not be lazy about it, but just you make everything a little bit more uniform and a little bit more unified, and, use one of the biggest platforms in the world to do it for us. Not do it for us, but help us.
How? Yeah, how?
So, because we can't maintain a website. We've got no idea how to do that. We like to think that we do, but we don't. So, yeah.
No, we have no idea.
No, we don't.
And we are looking at how we can better reach people with the technology that's around now. Not everyone wants to listen to the whole app. to the whole podcast. So now we're working on ways of giving you a streamlined feed so that if you just want to listen to the part that's relevant to your question or to what you're doing, you can tune in, tune out as needed. So that's what we're reposting the podcasts at the moment. You'll see them all popping up. Or actually you won't, will you?
Well, in the
On Podbean. On Podbean you will, and maybe on Apple you will.
Yeah.
But on the website, they're sort of slowly being changed.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to use the technology better, because one thing, while Paul and I have great skills in our chosen professions, what we are is time poor.
Yeah, and we're novices too. Like, let's not forget, while yes, we have been making sort of this hobby business and been doing it for quite some time, the technology moves faster than we do. And we're still updating. And when we first started making videos, it's the first time I ever picked up a camera. Like, we just we didn't know. We don't know.
Remember the first day you got mic'd up, and it was such a shock.
Things have moved quickly. So, and we also need to recognise that, while it's all well and good to have a recipe there, a little bit of understanding of why you're doing what you're doing, rather than just giving people instructions. So hopefully it's going to be a little bit more personal.
Yeah.
And it's always, the user's choice. They can either watch it or not. It doesn't matter to me, but what matters to me is making sure the content's relevant. We're not just doing it for the sake of doing it. And hopefully some of the information, particularly in cooking and also appliances, that I've learned in the last, this is my 30th year of cooking now. So, in that period of time, hopefully it can help someone. And this isn't we're going to be millionaires in a second.
Well, that was never the dream.
Purpose, right?
That was never the dream with this.
Yeah. So it's just provide people with, skills, tips, tricks, techniques, and give them and make it easier for people to cook. It's too easy not to cook now. Like, it's too easy.
It's increasingly easy not to. And
like, the way I know what the future of the big supermarket chains, or the monopoly that is the supermarket chains here in Australia is, and what you're going to see more and more is more ready-to-eat meals over the period of time. Like, now there's a lot, and they're going to double down and go even harder on it. So just, you don't want to lose the art of cooking.
No, and I think I'm looking forward to Dougie and I heading off to the wonderful United States of America in a few months for a holiday. And I am really looking forward to checking out the food scene there, because I know the Americans are so advanced in terms of what you can buy already cooked, pre-made, supported.
Yeah.
And one thing I have learnt with you over the years is that no matter what method you're using or what you start with, there's always ways that you can improve it rather than just following the instructions on the back of the pack. If you have a couple of basic techniques, you can really add some texture, some colour, some flavour into even par-cooked food. And I'm really looking forward, because we're hiring a house down in lovely Wisconsin and we're staying with some friends.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to exploring it.
Yeah, America's kind of a bit of a funny one for me, is because they are so advanced, and even their dining scene is super advanced.
Yeah,
in some places.
Yeah,
but in other places, it's still what I think in Australia, in our mind's eye, that sort of Gordon Ramsay kitchen nightmares type. That's what we see, right? But it's not.
No, we don't see a lot of American shows based on just normal. It's always that crisis mode.
Yeah.
It's never just normal cooking like we do from America, from the UK, and we see Mary Berry and we see Paul Hollywood and we see all these.
Rick
Stein, we all love Rick Stein. We see this, and we have a 24-hour channel on Australia, which is a small market, and we still have one station devoted 24 hours a day to food programs. But what we don't see is the USA, and they've
got multiple channels down there for that. That's
and we don't see any of them.
Yeah,
not really. We see snippets, and my few travels I've been to the States, everywhere I go is a different accent, different flavour, and to explore all that more, you really need to be there, because you don't get that on our meat. Well, we don't get that here.
I think what we don't, well, my kind of feeling about it is what we don't see is you see like the best of America. So you see the better restaurants, the
Thomas Keller's,
that sort of things.
Yeah.
And then you see the worst. But you don't really see over here, and I'm sure it's over there, but you don't really see a lot of the home cooking.
I can only think of,
like if I take MasterChef as an example, what MasterChef was in its first season, right?
Yeah.
So when Julie Goodwin won, that was what MasterChef, in my mind,
good home cook.
should have been all about, like Maggie Beer, right? We don't really see that side of home cooking in America, and so given that we've sort of to a degree recognised that America is going to be a significant part of our market, or
already is, and thank you so much for that, by the way, listeners.
What can we do to cater to that? Number one, how do we get an insight into how do Americans cook at home? Like, that's the thing. And what do they want to know? I mean, all of these things are questions that, we have to figure out ourselves and ask ourselves. But yeah, it's always the extremes. I find that what we get to see in Australia from America, it's the extremes. It's the best of the best, and they are, dependent, but they are really right up there with the most cutting edge modern techniques, modern food. Like, they really do it well. And then you've got the extreme low end
crisis,
and it's
restaurants in crisis.
It's just that big personality, someone's, the whole thing's falling apart, and Gordon Ramsay, the superhero, saves the day, that sort of stuff. But that home cooking stuff, unless you're on social media and you follow certain people, you really don't see that much of it.
Hard.
And it seems very regional as well. Like, it's region specific how they cook and what they like to cook. I mean, I'm a big advocate for, Aaron Franklin, Texas barbecue, and learning about that, because that's not a big thing over here.
No, it's
people
not.
People are doing it, but it's not as huge. So, I mean, look.
But it's also an untapped market in Europe. Our family in Norway, they love cooking. They cook everything. They catch their food often. They hunt it, they fish it, they kill
Shoot it.
Yeah, they've got it. But they cook every meal, was when we were there last year, was things that they'd made. The drinks that we had, the cordials, the breads. No, it was more apple and rhubarb, sort of cordial. But everything was made. The sausages were all homemade. Everything was made.
Also, we don't know that doesn't not happen in America. But what we see is what you said.
Yeah, we just don't.
Like, even for, like, I think I mentioned to you the other day, even the whole, what do they call it? Half and half, right? That is mind-boggling to me, and probably to most Australians, right? So my understanding of it, it's half heavy cream, half milk, right? And a lot of people choose to have that in their coffees, and it just shows you the size of the population, right? That you can produce a product that you could quite easily just mix yourself in 2 seconds, right? So there's the demand for a product that is sort of, to a degree, ready-made. Right.
Exactly.
It's quite amazing to see that. So,
I'm looking forward to bringing back some photos of food and some of the shopping, because, for this trip, we're going to have a chance. We're not going to be on the road the whole time, which will be really good. And I'm looking forward to it. But we don't know how a lot of Europe cooks. We don't know, how some of the French, probably is the only one that we really see. We don't see an Italian, French and Italian shows.
We have our own sort of
here, but we don't see the rest of. Certainly don't see Eastern Europe.
Yeah, but we see more of Europe than we do of America.
Way more. Way more. Sort of. Yeah, way more. But
we guide ourselves by to a degree.
Well, it's accessible to us, when America, even though it's vast and fantastic, is largely hidden for what we're looking for. But so that's been our journey for the last year. We've had some other things going on, but we're rebranding, repurposing, and looking at how we can do
more stuff to make everyone better.
And just, more access to the different mediums, because we've been a bit limited with what we've done, because we've been limited by the website a bit. which is still there, and I still use it all the time when I've got 2 pages now open at home. Coming up to this time of the year, it's a chocolate cake, which I can probably do by memory anyway, and the hot cross buns.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and look, we'll bring back, we're certainly not going to delete those, but we might bring them back as new videos, explaining a little bit as to why it's done the way it's done, and maybe just a little bit more refined and not have, your cat wandering around in the background of the shot and stuff like that. So, hopefully we'll be able to tidy things up a little bit, make it a little bit.
And more consistent. So
more consistent, a bit more pleasant to watch. A little bit
and I think having you talk over them as well will really help, rather than having to read it sometimes.
Yeah. It depends how much swearing it might be. That,
lucky.
I might be the Gunther Steiner of the...
No. Our new AI tool. No, I don't.
Yeah.
Which is why I just glossed over it and went to the AI app, which will be able to remove the swear words. Wow. Because we have to be child-friendly for YouTube.
Show me a child who's old enough to watch YouTube that hasn't heard swearing.
Yeah, whether they've heard it, they just don't need to hear it from us on our podcast.
Yeah, no, well, I'm not saying on the podcast, but my videos. But let's see.
Oh, on the videos, yes, on the videos. Well, that's, yes. But no, so we are very excited. We're back. We'll be updating, maybe not as regularly just at the moment, but very soon we'll get back into regular content, recipes, food, all things home cooking.
If you've got any questions in the meantime, you can always contact us at info@cookingestate.com.
Always.
Email. We'll hopefully get back to you. Generally, we try
and hopefully we'll have book 2 absolute squared away. Launch date, we're aiming for midway through the year. It'll have the dual conversions between Fahrenheit and Celsius. It'll have the steam content.
The current book does.
The current book does too. The first run didn't. But when we sold out of that first run, which was great, thank you very much, everyone who bought a copy. We've now updated version 2 of Demystified, has that and the steam percentages.
Yeah.
And so Remystified is going to be very similar, same format.
A picture for every recipe.
Picture of exactly. I think it's necessary because I don't like making something I can't see. What's it going to look like when I hopefully cook it the way they've suggested?
Yeah, so you should remember the eggs.
Oh, yes. I have never forgotten that. So it's good to see you, Paul.
And you.
And
Easter to everyone.
Happy Easter to everybody else, and happy holidays for those who celebrate Easter later. For some it's May, for some it's not at all. But happy holidays if you're getting a break. And stay tuned. We'll be back. Happy cooking, everyone.
See you later.
Bye. Thanks for listening to this podcast as we explore home cooking in a modern world. We'd love you to subscribe, and for more information, please go to our website, cookingwithsteam.com.